In Genesis chapter 12, verse 1 and 2, we see God speaking a word over Abraham. In 1 and 2, it reads, "Now the Lord said to Abraham, go from your country and your kindred and your father's house to the land I will show you. And I will make of you a great nation, and I will bless you and make your name great, so that you will be a blessing." Now, here when we read the word great nation, the word nation means a great people group. Now we read when God speaks the promise to Abraham, he was 75 years old. And when the promise came to pass, he was around 100 years old. That means there was a 25 years approximately delay, or it seems a delay for us, right? When you and I look at that scripture and look at how long Abraham waited, it looked like it was a delay. But sometimes, let me say that again, but sometimes the delay could be for us to grow or for us to change. You know, when we look at it, it looks like a delay, but God, when he works it, it is perfect timing. You see, God's timing is always perfect. Now, let us understand why or what could be the reasons that Abraham was kept waiting for so long. When we look at the promise that God had given Abraham, God had told Abraham, get out from your father's house, from your country. That means God had told Abraham to take Sarah and move out with his family. But what Abraham does is he begins to take Lot. He begins to take his nephew. In a way, Abraham took a kind of a support because he was going in new territory, right? He was going in new places. So Abraham does is he takes support from Lot. But God does not want us to lean on anybody else. Does not want us to trust anybody else but him alone. In fact, scripture says, woe to man who puts his trust in man. And what happens is there's a conflict that begins between Abraham and Lot. You see, when you begin to get attached to anybody that is not legally right, you see, the only attachment that we can have in the world is to our spouse. That is the only relationship that God permits, legally permits, where he says, you are no more two but one. Now, Abraham was attached to Lot, and now there's a confusion that breaks forth. And there's a division that happens. Now, in that division, what we observe is Lot, when he was offered, he takes the better piece of land and gives Abraham the lesser one. Now, Abraham trusted Lot. Abraham leaned upon Lot. Abraham loved Lot, and yet Lot took the better portion. You see, we cannot trust people. So God had to teach Abraham that nobody else can be the reason for his prosperity. Nobody else can be the cause for him to rise up in life. Nobody else can be the cause for him, or through him a great nation would come out. Nobody else could take the credit for it. The second thing we see in Abraham's life is when they were in that waiting season for God to bless Sarah's womb, Abraham turns, through Sarah's advice, to a second option or a backup plan. You see, God had to teach Abraham that there is no backup plan in his kingdom. There is no second option. God's option is the only option. Sometimes you are kept waiting because you are looking at other areas to satisfy or fulfill the promises of God. But God is saying there is no other option than the one that he has placed before you.